we're going to make something called passatelli. And passatelli is an old-fashioned pasta for soup that my mother used to make. And I loved it as a kid because it was very nourishing, and when you were sick, this was what you wanted to eat. So again, we're going to start in a food processor. And we want to have some flour. About half a cup of flour goes in. And about 3/4 of a cup of grated Parmigiano-Reggiano again. That goes in. And you want a cup of really good dried breadcrumbs. Don't use bread from a box. You want to make your own. That goes in. A pinch of salt goes in. And now we want to whisk up these eggs again. So 3 or 4 eggs, depending on how large those eggs are again. You can always add a little water if you think the dough is just too dry. So let's start with these 3. We're going to whisk those up just to break them up. And then to this, we're going to add some lemon juice. This is a pasta that has a really nice lemon flavor. And it's great in a homemade chicken broth. And you can find the recipe online on ciaoitalia.com for Nonna Galasso's homemade chicken stock. That was my maternal grandmother. I'm adding some grated zest of 1 lemon. And now we're going to whirl this up first. So we put the top on and just whirl up those dry ingredients. Just get them mixed. And now we're going to add the wet ingredients right through the feed tube. Okay, put this on and whirl that up till it forms a ball. We're going to take that out. Now, if it seems really, really wet, you've got to add a little bit of flour, and I can see that this is going to need some flour. I'm going to take that out, put it on my board. Now, what you have to do with this is get it cold. So here is a little flour, and you just get that in a ball, and this goes in the refrigerator. So you wrap this in wax paper. So here is some wax paper. I would chill this at least a couple hours. I've got one for you in the refrigerator that I did earlier. And we can now play baseball because it's hard. So what do you do with this? Well, you grate it. Passatelli. You grate it, and we need a cheese grater for that. So here's a cheese grater. You want to use the wide holes of the cheese grater, and it goes like this. You just grate it on those widest holes. Meanwhile, you've got that chicken stock going that you made from scratch. You don't want to use canned chicken stock for this because you spent all this time making passatelli, so why would you want to use canned broth with it? So you grate this down. And you can also freeze this dough, by the way. You can make it ahead of time if you don't want to use all of it. You can just grate as much as you want. So there is our little grated passatelli. Here is our soup. We take it and we put it right in that broth. We give that a stir, and we let that passatelli cook for a couple of minutes, and then it will be ready to eat. All right, the passatelli looks good. It's like little pastina. It's a soup that just makes you feel good. So now we can serve it up. And when I do this, I like to use a little bit of lemon. So I put a couple of thin lemon slices right in the base of the dish, just to pick up that lemon flavor. And then I get some of this beautiful passatelli with this delicious chicken broth made from scratch. Remember, you don't want to use canned for this. And this is so nourishing and so delicious. And then If you want, you can give it a little sprinkle of Parmigiano-Reggiano.